Cathy. It's my great honor to know you and be your student here. Well, can you explain to us briefly why are you doing what you are doing?
Oh, wow. Why am I doing what I'm doing? It started a long time ago. I started out as a visual artist and was painting, yes, painting, actually filmmaking a little bit, and performance art and theater. Yeah, and a little bit of music, but mostly a visual artist. And as I progressed in my career, I liked really working with people. So when I looked for another degree, in addition to my art degree, I got a degree in art therapy, a master's degree in art therapy, so that I could use the arts with people to help them change and heal. Yeah, so that was always something in the back of my mind that I wanted to do, and that became available when I was looking for a graduate program.
Actually, for me, this week is my first contact with art therapists.
Wow.
So I would like you to explain briefly to us what exactly to you is art therapy.
Well, there's two different things I think that have to be defined. Art therapy is about visual art and using it in a purposeful way to help people change.
Visual arts.
Yeah, visual arts.
So that
so it could be painting, it could be drawing, it could be clay work, it could be photography, it could be all those things. No, there's another way of looking at art therapy in a broader way, and that's called expressive arts therapy. So expressive arts therapy, you're using many different kinds of art forms. So you might use visual art with music.
Theater.
Yeah, theater. You could do drama, improvisation, role play. You can also do movement. So you can, in expressive arts therapy, you combine two or more of the art forms.
I see.
So today, in the class that you were attending, people were using their movement, but they were drawing on paper or painting on paper through movement. So there's two different things going on there.
I see.
If you added music, you'd have another dimension. So that's expressive arts therapy, is this integrative approach. And I include other things. I include play, and creative writing, and then also things that maybe create silence in the body, like mindfulness practice, meditation. Yeah, those kinds of things.
But that is not visual arts.
I know, but it's still a healing art. I think about the expressive arts therapies as they're stronger when you put other healing arts with them. So if you think about when you're doing painting or drawing, sometimes you get into this meditative state of very mindful doing the process. This is really true in Chinese culture with the brush painting and even calligraphy, right?
Well, in your keynote presentation, I noticed that you differentiate between verbal counseling and what you're doing.
Well, counseling is basically defined as a talk therapy, verbal therapy. So it does a lot of good. We've done talk therapy for over 100 years, but it doesn't touch the other senses. And when you we talk in expressive arts therapy, we talk to people, but we depend more on the sensations that they can get through what we call implicit experiences that are nonverbal. And that's the only way you really can get at that, is if you use the arts to do that, something nonverbal. Sometimes doing that kind of work through some kind of art form leads to language. It helps language. So I think it supplements counseling.
Well, opening up people's mind to talk.
Exactly.
Like your drawing mandala,
Yeah.
Well, as I understand it, traditional Chinese medicine distinguishes between curing the illness and getting people back to well-being by transforming the person. So you work on the person instead of on the sickness. I think there's a difference between when we talk about curing, you're talking about what medicine tries to do, right? Restoring
health so
balance,
that
physical balance.
Yeah, so I no longer have that illness. But many people that I have worked with, for example, cancer patients, they may not ever get cured, but they can get healed, because healing is more of a holistic feeling again that I'm a whole person, even though my life has been changed by the illness. And a lot of times they can find that through the arts. They find something about themselves that helps them feel whole, even though, you know, they still have the illness. So I think that's an incredible thing about expressive arts, that humans for thousands of years have done this process. So I always say, people ask, when did expressive arts therapy start? Well, as a profession, maybe 40 or 50 years ago, people started to talk about it, and now it's much more prevalent. But the healing practices are thousands of years old, and it's dependent on,
Well, if I go to an art therapist, you know, and I ask her, what are you going to do on me?
What am I going to do on you?
Well, I know that different therapists will do different things, depending on the background. But what is your, you know, formula or your style?
Yeah, my style is actually to start with movement, because most of the people that I work with have trauma. So they have a psychological trauma that they come in with. And the worst thing about trauma is to be frozen in it and be stuck in it. So in the beginning of the session, I might have them do different kinds of movement. Yeah, dancing. Sometimes we dance to music. Sometimes we just do, we mirror each other with movement. But I get them moving somehow, sometimes drawing on paper, on big paper with large movements. And so then I start with that, and then we see where we go from there. Maybe we're going to move into more drawing, or maybe we're going to move into drumming or some kind of music. It depends on the person, what really feels helpful to them.
And what is your repertoire as a therapist? You know, drumming, meditation, and drawing? And
I think because I started as a visual artist, so that's my core, but I also took movement classes and was in theater, so I learned performance art. And I think that in particular to change trauma, visual art is very helpful for storytelling, but when you really want to change the person's personal story about the trauma, that they need very active things like movement and drama. And drama I find really helpful to reenact things and create, through the imagination, a new story for your life.
Well, you know, you learn a new thing every day. 2 days ago, I just realized that, you know, graffiti can be a kind of art therapy.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
That's one of those presentations in the conference. You see, healing a group of underprivileged, you know, sector in the community, allowing them to express themselves, but expressing especially their anger and frustration and hopelessness. You know.
Yeah, it can be. I think we have to keep an open mind about what these things can be. One of the things that happens, I think, in expressive arts, in working with trauma, people come in and they don't feel imaginative, they don't feel creative, they don't feel playful. They don't feel like they can allow themselves because they're in so much pain. So that's what I kind of work towards, to make people feel more playful. And when you can start to play again, you feel good about yourself, you know, and you start to shed some of that emotion and that stress. And, you know, you start to accept the pleasure in life again. Because people that are traumatized, they're not having a lot of fun.
No.
Yeah.
What kind of people come to you? In terms of, you know, age group or
all ages. So
physical conditions?
Yeah, I started working with children who had been abused and neglected and witnessed violence. But lately, over the last 10 years, I work with military soldiers who have seen combat and have post-traumatic reactions. They may have other problems too, maybe with depression or anxiety, sometimes addictions. But trauma is kind of the core. And some of them, there's a few that actually have not only psychological trauma, they have traumatic brain injury because something happened, they were in an explosion and they got a trauma to their head. So there's also that piece. But all of them that I see have a psychological trauma of some kind, but all ages. So it's not just for children. Sometimes people think like, oh, arts and play is just for children, but it's not. It's very important that adults can find this process helpful in their, you know, their own healing from stress and trauma.
Wonderful work.
Yeah,
well, thank you for being an angel to all of us.
Oh.
I'm sure many people owe a lot to you.
Oh,
thank you.
Yeah.
Can I
Thank
shake
you.
your hand?
Yes, you can. Thank you for the interview.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.